Good morning everybody. So we're going to be looking at recapping our learning now from our previous learning. So we're going to start off by doing some questions and then I'm going to give you some extension activities after. I'd like you to have a go at doing this. First of all, tell me the time on the analog clock. Tell me it's a digital AM and PM as well. Then tell me how many bikes were in the morning. For a bonus point, you could get how many bikes were in the afternoon. Then you'll tell me how much money there is altogether, looking at the money, calculating 24 times 3, thinking about which method to use, your column method, and then finally for number 4, you're working that out. Once you have done that, press play and we'll see if you've got them correct. Okay, so if we're looking at the first one, we want to look at the minute hand. The minute hand is pointing to the 2. If we know that it's on the right hand side, we know that it is past. So we want to count how many minutes passed. If we start from the 12, we can count up in 5s because this is on the 2. We can go 5, 10, so it's 10 minutes past. And then the hour hand is gone past the 7 and is on the way to the 8, so it would say it's 10 minutes past 8. If we were to write it as a digital clock, we already know how many minutes past it is gone, so they go on the right hand side of the colon. So we can say it's 10 minutes past. Now if it is in the morning, it will be just 10 because it's already a 2-digit number. If it's in the afternoon into the evening, we add 12 to find it in 24-hour clock. So 10 add 12 is going to be 22. So that is your answer for the clock. Right, looking at number 1 then, how many bikes were in the morning? So we know that 1 bike represents 5. So in the morning we had 4 bikes and each is worth 5, so we can times it by 5, or we can do 5 add 5 add 5 add 5. So you should have said that there were 20 bikes in the morning. For a bonus point, you should have said it in the afternoon. I've got 3 bikes. Each bike is worth 5, so if I do 3 times by 5, you would have got 15 bikes. Okay, number 2, look at how much money there is. So we've got a £10 note, sorry. We want to have a pound, add another pound, add 10 pence, add 20 pence, add 1 pence, and we want to add them all together. If I add my pounds first, I've got 10, 11, 12, so I've got £12 and 10, add 20 is 30, add 1 is 31 pence. You could have also wrote it as 12.31, and remember we don't need the pence sign. For number 3, you should have used column method, set it up like this. Starting your ones, 4 times 3 is 12. Remember, you can't put 2 digits in, so the 2 goes into the ones column, the 1 goes under the tens. 2 times 3 is 6, add your 1 is 7, your answer is 72. And finally for number 4, this was a nice easy one. You could have either used column method, which would have been really easy. However, because you're only adding 100, your hundreds column is the only column that is going to change. So your tens and your ones would stay the same, so that should have been nice and easy. Okay, so I'd like you to have a go at doing the clock on this one. Tell me it's a digital clock as AM and PM. Then for number 5, tell me how many children's favourite colour is green. So you're going to need to use your bar model here your bar graph here to find out. For bonus points, you can tell me how many children like red, blue and yellow. Then for number 6, find the total, the amount of £3.25 and £4.78. So think about how you're going to work that one out. For number 7, you are calculating 84 divided by 4, thinking about those numbers there, thinking if there's a quicker way, or alternatively using the method we used the other day. And for number 8, what is the value of the 4 in this number? And you can also tell me what the 5 and the 1 would represent as well as your bonus points. Okay, so we're going to look at the clock. Now the clock, if we look at the minute hand, that's the longest hand. It is not on a number now, so it is on one of the small dashes. Now remember, each of these small dashes lines represents 1. So if we count how many minutes has passed, we can count it as 1, 2, 3. So we would say it is 3 minutes past. And then if we look to see where the hour hand is, it is just very slightly off the 6, so it's going to be 3 minutes past 6. Now when we're writing it, we know our minutes is on the right hand side. However, because we need two numbers, if you put the 3 there, that would not be correct because you'd have to put a 0 in there, because if there's an empty space we need to put a 0. However, it doesn't say it's 30 minutes past, it says it is 3 minutes past, so it would need to be 03 minutes past. Now if we have a look, if it's 6, because again we've got to put a 0 before the 6 if it's in the morning, and if it's in the afternoon we can add 12 to 6, which would be 1803. Okay, let's have a look at number 5. So we want to know what how many children like green. If we look at the bar graph, the increments are going up in 2s, they're going up in measurements of 2. We can see that the green is halfway between 4 and 6, so we know that 5 children like green as their favourite. To get your bonus points, we can say that there were 2 children that liked red, there were 6 children that liked blue, and for yellow we can see that it's halfway between 8 and 10, so there were 9 children. So if you got those right, fantastic. Okay, number 6, we're adding our money together. So if we look, we could either add our pounds first and then our pence, but I can see straight away that if I do 25 and 78, it's going to exchange. So I'm going to make it easy for myself to start with, and I'm going to convert both of these numbers into pence. So I know in a pound there are 100 pence, so in £3 there will be 300 pence plus your 25, so it's going to be 325 pence. Then in £4 there's 400 pence, 478 pence. I'm going to add those two numbers together, so I'm going to use my column method, so I'm just going to do it under here. 5 add 8 is 13, 7 add 2 is 9, add 1 is 10, 3 add 4 is 7, add your 1, 8, so it's 803 pence. Now remember, in £1 there's 100 pence, so in 800 pence is going to be £8 and 3 pence. Or you could have wrote £8, your decimal point. Remember, you've got to have 2 numbers after the decimal, so you'd have to put 03 if you wrote it like that. For number 7, we're doing 84 divided by 4. Now what you might have noticed straight away is that 8 and 4 are both in the 4 times tables. So I don't actually have to do too much working out for this one. I could see how many 4s go into 4, which is in my 1s column, which is 1. How many 4s go into 8, which is 2, so your answer is 21. Alternatively, you could have partitioned 84 into 40 and 44, and then if you divided each of these numbers by 4, you would have found that the answer was 10 and 11, and if you added those two numbers together, you would have had 21. So that could have been another method you used. Finally, for number 8, the 4 represents 400 or 400s, the 5 represents 50, and the 1 represents 1. So well done if you got all of those correct. Okay, so I'd like you to have a go now at doing the next one, telling me the time on the analog clock, turning it into a digital, then having a go at doing the statistics on number 9 and telling which clubs did Tim go to. You could also have some bonus points to tell me where the other children, which clubs they went to. 10, write 14 in tally marks, think about what happens when you get to 5. For number 11, you're subtracting 75 pence from £4.16 pence. And number 12, what is 100 more than 382? Once you've had a go at working that out, press play and we'll have a look and see if you've got them correct. Okay, we're going to start off looking at the minute hand. Now my minute hand is pointing to the 5 because that is the longest hand. I know that is on the past side of the clock. So if I count that up, because it's on a full number, we can count up in 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. And if it's past, I can have a look. My past has gone, my hour is past the 12, so it'll be 25 minutes past 12. Now if I was to write this as a digital clock, as 24 hours, I already know how many minutes past it is. It's 25 minutes past. So that one is nice and easy. However, remember when it's past 12, 12 o'clock in the afternoon is going to be 12. However, if it's in the evening or the start of the day, if we do 12 or 12 is 24, and we know there's 24 hours in a day, so it would become 0, 0. So that one was a tricky one. Number 9, which clubs do Tim go? If we have a look down the column with Tim, we can see he goes to the art club. So this is Tim. And we can see that he also goes to cooking club. For your bonus marks, if you have got these right for Sam, we can see that Sam goes to the art and chess club, Beth goes to cooking and chess, Jane goes to art, and Paul goes to chess and cooking. So well done if you got all of those right, give it a tick. Okay, in the next one we are writing 14 in tally marks. Now remember, when we write tallies, once we get to 5, we have to cross it like a gate. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, make that a bit clearer, 11, 12, 13, 14. So you should have 1 lot of 5, 2 lots of 5 and 4. Well done if you got those right. So we're taking away 75 pence. Now, because obviously we can see that we're going to be exchanging because we've got 16 pence and 75 pence. What we could do first of all is we convert £4.16 into 416 pence. Then we can take away 75 pence. 6 take away 5 is 1. 1 take away 7 we cannot do, so we must exchange 100 for 10 tens. 11 take away 7 is 4. 3 take away nothing is 3. So 341 pence, or £3.41 pence remaining. Another way you could have done it, you could have taken the 16 off the 75 first and then taken away the rest, but that was probably the easiest way to do it. And finally, what is 100 more than 382? Well, if we put our hundreds, tens and ones column, 382. If we're finding 100 more, the only column that is going to change is our hundreds. We want 1 more 100, so that will become 482 because your tens and your ones will stay the same. Okay, so for this one, again, looking at the analog clock, can you tell me it's a digital as well? Then for number 13, you're finding the difference between the number of visitors on Wednesday and Friday. So thinking about what difference means, what are you going to use? Which sign are you going to use? Number 14, Alex has a £20 note. She buys a purse for £12.49. How much change does she receive? So think about what sign you're going to use there. What is 320 divided by 8? So think about what you can see, maybe what you could do first of all before you divide it. And then you'll partition the number 492 into the 3 numbers that your hundreds, tens and ones would be. So if we're having a look at the analog clock, now remember the little dashes mean 1 minute. So if we first of all look to see the minute hand is pointing between the 1 and the 2. So if we count it, if we start from the 12, we can count in 5s first to get to our whole number. So we can go 5 minutes until I get to the 1, and then I want to know how many extra. I can go 6 minutes and 7 minutes. So I can see that it is 7 minutes. It is on the past side of the clock, and if I have a look where my hour hand is, it's just past the 9, so it's 7 minutes past 9. Now again, if we were writing it as a digital clock, we know that it's 7 minutes past, but remember if it's 7, it's going to be 07, not 70. And then if it's past 9, it will be 09 for the morning. And if I add on 12 to 9, which is, if I add 12 onto 9, sorry, it is 21. So it would be 21:07 for the afternoon. Says to find the difference. So straight away, if we're finding difference, we know we're going to be taking away. So I know that there are 132 people on Wednesday, 321 people on Friday. Remember, the biggest number has to go at the top. So if I take them away, 1 take away 2 I can't do, so I'm going to exchange, turn my 2 into a 1 and put a little 1. 11 take away 2 is 9. 1 take away 3 I can't do, so I'm going to have to exchange my 300s, make it into a 200 and put my extra little 1 next to my tens column. So I've now got 11 take away 3, which is 8, and 2 take away 1 is 1. So your answer is 189. This time Alex has got £20. She wants to find the change. So when we find the change, we want to know how many left over. So it's going to be a takeaway, and we're going to do takeaway £12 and 42 pence. Now what we could do is this one, there are 2 different methods. We can either start at £12.42 and want to get to £20, so we could do it as a number line. I could go to my next 10, so after 42 it would be 50. And my pounds will stay the same, so £12.50. To get from 42 to 50, I'm adding 8 pence. Then I can go up to my next pound. I know there's 100 pence in a pound, so to get to 13, I'm going to add 50 pence. And to get from 13 to 20, I'm going to add £7. So I can see if I add all these numbers together, it will be £7 and 58 pence. You could, however, have either you could have done £20, take away £12, which would have been £8, and then take off 42 pence, or you could have converted it all. Remembering in £1 there is 100 pence, so if I times 12 by 100, I put my 2 zeros on, but I've also got 42, so I've got 1,242. If I've got £20, I've got I need to put my 2 zeros on because that is for my pence, because there's 100 pence in a pound, and if I could use column method to work that out as well. 320 divided by 8, straight away I can see that it's got a 0, so if I take off my 0, I now know 32 divided by 8, it is in my 8 times table, so if I do my 8s, 8, 16, 24, 32, I know I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 lots, and I need to put my 0 back on, so your answer is 40. Then we're partitioning 492. If you put your columns method, we could have said that there will be 400, there will be 90, and there will be 2. So that would be what we could have partitioned it as. I'd now let you to have a go at doing this. So this time you're saying the analog clock and as a digital as well. This one is a little bit more challenging, so please have a look at this one. Then for number 17, you're saying how many children have blue or hazel eyes. You could work out how many each child has got, and then make sure you read the question carefully. Then if one smiley face represents 8 people, how many smiley faces would need to represent 40 people? Then you're calculating £4.78 take away £2.67 pence, and finally 30 times 4. Now for number 18, you might want to actually draw it out to think about how you could represent it to find the answer. Okay, so looking at our minute hand is not on the whole number, it is on the second line after the 8. Remember, each of these little lines represent 1. Now to work out, we need to, first of all, we can see that it's on the 2 side of the clock. So I know that it's going to be something minutes 2. Now to work out how many minutes 2, we can still start from the 12 and we can count backwards. Now we can count backwards in 5 to see how many there are full minutes 2, and then we can add the extra, so we can count 5, 10, 15, and then if we now count the little ones, we can count 16, 17, 18. So we could say that it is 18 minutes 2, and then my time is trying to get to the 12, so it's 18 minutes to 12 because my hour hand is trying to get to the 12. Now when we go to turn it into a digital, this one is a really difficult one, so if you've not got it right, do not worry. So if there's 18 minutes 2, if I know there are 60 minutes in an hour, and I've already used 18, I can take that away and I can find that there will be 42 minutes remaining. So I know that that the minute hand has actually gone 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 41, 42 minutes past the hour, and the hour that it has gone past is 11. Because it's not gone past the 12 yet, it's gone past the 11. So to turn it into 24 hours in the afternoon, if I add 12 to 11, I would get 23:42, which is the same as 18 minutes to 12. Okay, number 17. How many children have blue or hazel eyes? Well, first of all, let's work out how much each has got. So we've got brown, blue, green, and hazel. So if we have a look, there are 8 children that have brown eyes. There are, it's between 6 and 8, so it's going to be 7 children that have got blue eyes. It's between 2 and 4, so it's going to be 3 children have green eyes. And hazel eyes is going to be 5 because it's between 6 and 4. So you should have said that these were your numbers. And if you want to know how many children have blue or hazel eyes, we need to add these two numbers together, and we will find that the answer is going to be 12. So your answer is 12. Then it says 1 smiley face is worth 8, and I want to know how many smiley faces would be for 40 people. Now what we need to do for this one, we could have either drawn it, so we could have drawn, that's 8. So I count up in my 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, we would need 5 lots of smiley faces. You could have also done 40 divided by 8, which would have got 5, because we know 8 goes into 45 times, so we would need 5 smiley faces. Calculate £4.78. So the quickest way for us to do this one is we can actually do £4 take away £2, which would be £2. And then, because my pence are not going to exchange, I could do 78 pence, take away 67 pence. And instead of using colour method, I could just start from 67, count up, it's 3 up till 70, add another 8, and you will get the answer 11 pence. So your answer is £2 and 11 pence. Finally, what is 30 times 4? You could have used column method, however you could have just taken off the 0, 3 times 4 is 12, and put your 0 back on to make it 120. So if you've had a go at doing all those questions now, there are some extension activities for you to have a go at doing here. They are all questions, word problems, so you'll need to pull out the key words, things that all together, change, leftover, difference, finding all the key words to have a go at doing questions 1 to 9. And once you've had a go at doing those, if you press play, we'll have a look to see if you've got them all correct. So for the first one, it's saying that there are 8 cars in a car park, and I want to know how many wheels altogether. So if it's finding all together, we want to find the bigger number. So we're going to be either multiplying or adding, because they're going to find the biggest numbers. Now, if there's 8 cars and each car has got 4 wheels, we want to know how many wheels. We can do 8 times 4, which is 32. You could have as well, you could have drawn cars or balls to show circles to show cars, and you could have found how many wheels would be on each as well. Next one, if as part of a charity event, 6 children each complete 14 laps of the field, how many laps were run in total? So in total, again, we want the bigger number, so we're going to add or we're going to times. If each child did 14 laps, we want to find what 6 children did, so we can do 6 times by 14. If we use our column method, 6 times 14, we can do 4 times 6 is 24. 1 times 6 is 6, add your 2 is 8, so your answer is 84. Number 3, 18 people go to the cinema and pay £8 each, so it's £8 each. And there are 18 people, so we found the keywords. We then want to know how much money did they have at the cinema altogether. So again, there's that word again, the biggest number. So if there are 18 people, each person spends £8 each. So if we do 18 pound 8, so I can do my column method. I know 8 times 8 is 64. 1 times 8 is 8. Add your 6 is 14, and then there's nothing times 8 is nothing, add your 1, so your answer is £144 altogether. Number 4, if 3 cars arrive at a party, each carrying 4 passengers, so each carrying 4 people, how many people arrive at once? You should have said that you do 3 times by 4 is going to be 12, because there's 3 cars, there's 4 in each car, so there's going to be 12 in total. Question 5, a class of 30 children are put into 5 football teams. How many children are there in each team? Now, if we see the word each, we know we're going to be multiplying or dividing because we're wanting equal groups. Now, I already know that the total number is 30 and I want to put it into 5 teams, and I want to know how many children, so there's going to be less children than there are in total. So you're going to do 30 divided by 5, which if you do your 5 times table or you do your 5 circles and dot it out, you should find the answer was 6. Question 6, a mum takes a cupcake for each child in her son's school. There are 5 classes with 28 children in each class. Again, we've seen that word each, so we know we're going to be timesing or dividing. How many cupcakes did she make in total? Well, if I know there are 5 classes and in each class there are 28 children, we want to know how many cupcakes, so we're going to need lots of cupcakes, so we can do 5 times 28. Now, in order to work this out, you'll have to do your column method. 28 times 5. We can do 8 times 5 is 40, so write in 40, 4 underneath. 2 times 5 is 10, add your 4 is 14. Nothing times 5 is nothing, add your 1 is 140. So your answer should have been she needs to make 140 cupcakes. Question 7, Sam did his paper on for 5 days in a row. If he was paid £8 per day, how much money did he earn? So if he does it for 5 days at £8 per day, we should have multiplied those 2 together to find that your answer should have been £40. Number 8, Holly is sharing, so the word sharing, so we know that straight away if you're sharing you're going to be dividing. Holly is sharing 24 sweets between her 3 friends, and we want to know how many she will each get. So again, we know each is going to mean we're going to divide. 24 divided by 3, you could have done 3 circles, shared them 24 times, or just do your 3 times table to work out that the answer would be 8. Finally, Grandad George shared, so again there's that shared, there's the word equally, so we know it's going to divide. £44 between 4 children. How much did they each receive? If I do my 4 times table, or I can do 4 circles and share out 44, the answer is 11. If you've done all that and you've still got some time to spare, you can pick one of your questions and I'd like you to give me a really in-depth explanation of how you worked it out. So thinking about the words you pulled out, the keywords, thinking about how you set it up, telling me how you did it, so using column method, where did you start, what did you do next, thinking about the words exchange. So I'd like to see some really in-depth explanations if you have finished all of this and you still have some time to spare. Once you've done all that, if you pop it on Seesaw, I can have a look at it, and I hope you have a lovely day.